Hello, good evening. Rusty Mansell here with Dawg Talk Live tonight. Our normal Tuesday night show. It is Georgia, Florida week. My gosh, where has the season went, man? Slow down. It's Georgia, Florida week. I see a lot of you already checking in, man. I appreciate y'all doing that. Let's do this. Always know it's presented by Hotel Indigo. This is Dawg Talk Live, our Tuesday night show. We're presented by Hotel Indigo in Athens. If you're going to be in town in Athens on Saturday, I know a great place with a great bar and a lot of places you can have a cold beverage and watch the game, and that's at Hotel Indigo. Always, I've got cue cards to read. I can give a commercial to read, but you know what? I don't have to. I can just simply show you a couple pictures. I'll show you that patio right there. They got great people working, great service. I'll bring your drink right to you. I'll bring food right to you. It's all about some dogs. I see my guy Barry Rutherford there checking in. He says there's a watch party Saturday in Sarasota, Florida. So, hey, if Barry's inviting you to a watch party in Sarasota, Florida, if you can't make it to Jacksonville, I guarantee you that will be a good one. Let me say this too, guys. I had 2 or 3 people ask me or ask them, I've seen them over the week. I said, what can I do better on the show? They said, hey, man, take more questions. I said, well, let's take more freaking questions in. So we'll get to the questions a little quicker tonight. You can go ahead and get them in. I love you guys for checking in. Let me know where you're checking in from. It's crazy always, but let's get right to it, guys, so we can get to some questions tonight. Again, we're coming off a bye week. Let's get right into it. Obviously, the question I got all weekend was Jared Curtis. And, if you're a member of DawgsHQ, kind of gave our notes on Friday. Then I came back in and gave my notes on Saturday, about Jared Curtis and kind of what he thought. And listen, nothing's changed for me. And you heard it out of his mouth in an interview with our Pete Nakos yesterday that he's 100% committed to Georgia. And you would be crazy if you're Vanderbilt not to take a swing there, okay? You'd be crazy. Hometown kid, all the momentum in the world. Hell, I would have went to game day in Nashville if I was there. It would have been a great trip. But you never say never, but I feel really, really confident this kid's going to stay with Georgia. Mike Bobo was there all day Friday. The timing was pretty good for all that to happen, and Mike Bobo used his one visit in the fall. Mike Bobo went up that Friday, got a chance to watch Jared plays with him most of the day at school. And, I'll be honest with you guys, that was a hell of a win recruiting for Mike Bobo. His family is sold on him and everything that he has, shown them, and just really, really done a good job there. So, you look at that and that's a big win for Georgia. And, I tell everybody, just don't panic too much sometimes. You don't get these easy. And I had a buddy of mine that's very connected to Alabama. And he told me, he said, man, Alabama took a swing at him this summer, and the kid he just said, I'm going to Georgia. That was a privately, like, hey, can we get you on a visit? And he's like, I'm going to Georgia. So, it's good. I see my guy Ty there from Nashville. Yeah, man, it's good. It's good for Nashville. It's good for Vandy, to have that type of attention. And they'd be crazy not to try to get a kid like that. One of my best friends, one of my former coworkers, someone I'm really close with. Barton Simmons is general manager there. I haven't talked to Barton in a week or so, trying to get the damn quarterback there. Chill out, Barton. But very proud of the work he's done, very proud of the product. There was a national story on him and what he's built there as a general manager. So congratulations, guys. Say this too, right there. If anyone's in the Nashville area, there's some message board stuff going around today. Sounds like a lot of Georgia fans are going to see Jared play on his senior night, Friday night. And you know what? That would be a damn good thing. I'll just tell you that right now. I know it's Halloween, and I know some of y'all be doing stuff with the kids and all that, but some of you want to get out and go see this guy play. It has nothing to do with his recruitment, zero. But I think it would be a really cool moment. And kind of the message board talk today there were some rumblings going on that some Georgia fans are all getting together to go watch him play. I think that'd be really cool. 2 things before we get going here. Let me know where you're watching from, and let me know if you're going to the game. How about that? Let's do that, and that'll be great for tonight. Let's do that. Let me know where you're watching it from. Again, I saw my guy Barry Rutherford say that. said he's going to be watching in Sarasota, Florida. Actually gave an address there. And if you guys want to be, how about Michigan, man, checking in right there on fire duty this weekend. Maybe you won't be busy. You get a chance to watch that. So appreciate your service, man. Always appreciate our policemen and firemen and the job you do. It takes a special group, man, to do that. So let me know if you're going to St. Simon's, all those things. Listen, guys, great questions right there. We're going to get right to these. Keep the questions coming. I'm going to spend about 5-10 more minutes. I had Kirby Smart Saturday night. How about that? I had Kirby Smart at the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame. He was inducted this week in the class. Cam Newton, Robert Edwards, Isaiah Crowell, Greg Reed, Keith Brooken, Walt Frazier from the Knicks, man. How about that? Harris Barton and Steve Wallace, the two offensive tackles for the San Francisco 49ers, 6 Super Bowls between them. And I said, look, guys, I got to ask you a question, man. I said, what was it like playing Lawrence Taylor? And both of them they put their head down. And Steve Wallace in particular talked about it. Steve Wallace played with Stacey Searles at Auburn. And back in the day, he had a lot of high things to say about Stacey Searles and a lot of good things to say about Stacey Searles. But it was interesting to hear all those guys. Kirby came in. He was great. Sometimes you don't realize the dude's a damn rock star. I mean, when you walk in a building like that and the place you could just feel it, man. And, he took the pictures and did all that, but he was there to go in, and it was a big moment for him and his family. And you saw the picture that went viral. They were watching the Alabama game. They were actually watching the Alabama game backstage on an iPad. And when everything started, they brought all the people that were going in. They brought them in and had Kirby there. Well, little Andrew Smart, he's a football guy, and he pulled his phone out, and somebody snagged a picture, and it hadn't started yet. So Kirby wasn't being rude, or Andrew wasn't being rude, but they were using every minute there to watch that football game, which was really, really cool. So there's my guy, DGD Podcast up in Thomasville. Good to see you, man. Let's talk about Florida, guys. The unknown here. That's the question. Number one, they got athletes. They got a running back I love it. I love Jaden Baugh. He's from downtown Atlanta, went to Columbia High School. He got 611 yards, 4 touchdowns. I think he averages 5.3 a carry. I mean, this guy's a dude now. I freaking love some Jaden Baugh. And, he was a linebacker safety in high school, and they moved him over to running back for most of his senior year, and he kind of exploded there. So, that's the guy that worries me. DJ Lagway is around 1,500 yards passing. He has 9 touchdowns, but he also has 9 interceptions. He's also been sacked 14 times. So don't let him get in a rhythm. Don't let him get in a rhythm. I think that the biggest thing here, guys, would be a fast start. I think a fast start would do so much for Georgia, and I say that every week, but in particular this week, offensively, defensively. Let's start 14-0 on a team for once and see what a team that's already got. I mean, there's a lot of unknown variables with a team like this. A lot of questions. You try to put in a lot of different things. I know Billy Gonzalez is trying to change some things up, but, really you look at that, and that's, to me, probably a little ounce of doubt. They're going to play loose, but if you get on them real quick, you kind of take all that, take some of that out of play, I think, in this game. But Georgia has a better team. But I'm telling you, man, Florida got some Dallas Wilson. All those receivers they got, they can get after you now. They've got some athletes. But I think Lagway's the guy that I would be, if I was Georgia, I'd be dialed on trying to get him. You got to stop the run. Georgia's been good against the run. To me, it would mean a lot if Gunner stacked 2 really good games. Like if Gunner has another, and he don't have to have 5 touchdowns or whatever, but if Gunner were to stack another really good game right here, I think it'd do a lot. Georgia plays 5 games, guys, in November. 5 freaking games in November. So it starts. Second half of the season starts. A lot of people checking in, man. Y'all are ready to roll tonight. Thank y'all for being here. It's a big one. Always is. Kirby said this week, if you can't get up for this one, then you're not at the right place. And I listened to Florida's press conference with some of their players, and they had coached those guys up. They weren't talking too much. But one thing I kind of caught, they asked them if they made a lot of changes, and they said we've made some, and they tried to dig into the kid a little bit, which the kid wasn't going to say much. But he also said that playing more people. So you look at that, who are their young kids. You start thinking about who are their young kids, who they're going to put in. You're going to kind of know the pace of this game really quickly for Florida, especially in the first quarter offensively. I think Georgia, Florida's pretty good up front defensively. If Georgia can run the football with a good fast start, I like this one. But if they monkey around here and do what they've done, and it's 10-10 at halftime, you got a damn 4-quarter game on your hands right here. A lot of questions on coaching changes, and I'm going to touch on this right before we go to questions. LSU opened up with that 50-something million. Penn State opens up. Florida opens up. It's wild. Arkansas, I mean, gosh, Coach Pittman's been out of a job 3 or 4 weeks now. You don't hear much there. Virginia Tech's open. It's wild, guys. My question is, with so many openings, who's filling in all these schools? Who's going to fill in all? I know Lane Kiffin's the hot name, and I don't think Nick Saban's going to LSU. I mean, which would be great, but I don't think Nick Saban's going to LSU. I don't think Miss Terry is going to allow that. And but I'm sure they'll make a call. But guy turned 74 on Friday. He's probably and he's really getting good on game day. Like, I think he's finally let his guard down with McAfee. The ratings are through the roof. There's no telling what he makes, and he don't have to deal with any of that. So. Don't really know. I don't really know where this is going to go. My only question is, who's going to fill these jobs? The trickle-down effect is going to be crazy. So really, if you think about this, guys, we got 5 weeks in November, and you go to that Monday, you go to that Sunday after Georgia Tech, Thanksgiving weekend, the changes will start happening. Like, you got to get your staff in place because, guys, Wednesday, December the 3rd, I don't know if y'all know this, Wednesday, December the 3rd is National Signing Day. We are a little over a month to National Signing Day. Everybody's got their eyes on the portal in January, which they should. But December the 3rd, we have a National Signing Day, the week of the SEC Championship. So it's wild what's about to happen. So I think as soon as that rivalry weekend is over, these coaching changes are going to be crazy. The jobs getting filled. What opens up, trickle-down effect. Does Tulane open? Does South Florida open? Does Memphis open? All these jobs. It's going to be crazy. But anyway, guys, let's get to it, man. Let's get to some questions. Let's don't beat around the bush. Let's pop them up and see what we got. Rusty, what's the latest on Daniel Harris? Did he get jumped on the depth chart? Is there more to the story? Yeah, I mean, they went with Ellis Robinson, and then they went with DeMello Jones, and it's got to be tough, man. And that's kind of the thing about playing at Georgia. I mean, you're always going to compete. That's why Kirby was working hard to bring a portal quarterback in. I don't necessarily say he didn't believe in Gunnar Stockton, but he wanted that competition. And, you look at Daniel Harris, there's a kid that was about a year and a half starter, but really didn't have a great Tennessee game. And then Ellis Robinson didn't have a great Tennessee game. But I think right after that, I think they felt like the ceiling on Ellis Robinson was probably a little bit higher. They went with him. You look at DeMello Jones, they have played him at corner. They have played him at star. I think, listen, they take some growing pains. But I love the fact that Kirby and Glenn Schumann said, we got 2 young guys. The ceiling on these 2 kids are way up here. Let's just grind through it while they're learning, and let's throw them out there and let them make plays. Rusty, did UGA recruit Deuce Gerald? No, I don't think the Georgia really didn't recruit Deuce Gerald so much. I mean, he's a shorter guy. I mean, he's fantastic now. He is something else now. But he's a 6'1.5" guy, and I know everybody brings up Grady Jarrett and and Aaron Donald and all them, and I don't know that he's not, but 9 times out of 10, Georgia kind of has a box they check on defensive linemen, and he was a little bit kind of under what they do, but really liked him, man. Good player. I've known him. So he actually Tyler Atkinson, Deuce Gerald's, and I can't remember the other guy. Like 3 of those kids, they were all at Duluth Middle School. They were all together at Duluth, and they absolutely killed everybody in middle school. And that coach at Duluth did everything he could to keep them all. And as soon as it was over, bam, they were all gone to different high schools in the 9th grade, but they all played together. I think Georgia's health has been all year. Not going this game, watch it. Do you think Georgia is as healthy as it's been since all year? Georgia's pretty healthy right now. Yeah, I mean, obviously got some bumps and bruises. The Black Diamond Grill sounds like that's a great place to watch a game. I think Georgia's pretty healthy. You look at Kobe Young, that hurts. Talon Taylor, that hurts. But really and truthfully, they're a lot better place than they were last year, where they were fighting Ernest Green and Tate Ratledge and all these guys, all the issues they had dealt with. And then 2 years ago, you're dealing with, Lab McConkey and Brett and Brock Bowers. I mean, they had some major, major injuries. So, knock on wood, right now, in pretty good shape. Oh man, the Hall of Fame is for players. So, I won't be going in there. I know my high school stats were. I'm inflating them a little bit every year it goes on, but no, my high school coach deserves to be there. My high school quarterback who played 10 years in NFL, he deserves to be there. So I'll have some guys there. I'm actually the co-chairman, guys, with Dave Hunter, which is scary because at some point in this world, I will be in charge of the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame at one point. It's something I take very seriously. I sit there the other night. I put the coats on everybody. That's my job. And sometimes I look around and go, what in the hell? How did this happen? But, yeah, man, it's great. But I won't be going into that one, Wyatt. Thank you for bringing that up. My question for this game would be, do you see Gunner – my question would be for this game, where do you want to see Gunner grow in this offense? I want to keep him just going. I think Gunner had a great game. I think Gunner layered the ball a good bit. And I just thought you saw so much out of him and the confidence, man. I said it last week. You can't buy confidence. You can't coach confidence, but you can earn it. And I think Gunner earned a lot last week. I think Gunner was like, you know what? I'm that guy, and I'm going to be a problem. I tell you, if I'm Florida and I watched that Ole Miss game, you're like, damn it. Like, you didn't want the light like that to turn on for Gunner, but it did. And you hope he carries that over. Man, I love Davin Bellamy. He does a great job on his. I have seen some of the things he does. He's always been pretty confident. Even in high school, I was at Chamblee High School the other night, and I thought about going to his his ceremony when he committed to Georgia over Florida State. But Davin does a great job. He's early on in his career with this, but it's always good to see those guys that have played at Georgia. You see Sony with a podcast now. I watch a lot of Sony stuff. I think it's called Two Mics and a Ring, or Two Rings and a Mic. His Super Bowl rings and a mic. And I try to watch those guys. I'm a big fan of Jake Fromm. I think Jake Fromm, if Jake Fromm really wanted to get into it, I know he's got a day job, but Jake Fromm, if he really wanted to get into it, he would be. Drew Butler is another one that's freaking outstanding. There's a lot of really good people in the Georgia market that they're former players that are really good media wise. Kirby might go get him in the portal if he leaves. Talking about Bob, I'm gonna tell you something. If Jaden Bob were to go in the portal and Georgia didn't go after him, they'd be damn crazy. I promise you. Now, I don't know if they would get him. And I don't know if that kid's going to portal. But I'm reading your question. If Jaden Bob went in the portal, there's no question. If I'm Georgia, I'm on that call. That's a kid from Atlanta. I mean, he is good, man. Jaden Ball is a damn good running back. He would help you right freaking now. So don't know if he's going, and I'm not trying to stir it up. I'm reading a question from this Q&A. But if he were to go into the portal, Georgia would be crazy not to go after him. That dude would be hell on wheels in Athens, I promise you. Thomas Blackshear, he's redshirting. He got hurt and starting to come back. He had a great summer, but it sounds like he's redshirting, and he'll be a guy that he flashed. He came in late, but he had a real good summer. Then he got hurt a little bit and kind of to the side a little bit right now. But they're excited about him. Rusty, how bad was the Kobe Young injury? It's just he got up pointed in it pretty bad. I think he posted 8 out, meaning that he was done. I don't anticipate him playing again. And but I don't. Somebody asked about him. He's not going to be one of those guys going to check out now. This dude is locked in. He's a great teammate. Players love him. Just being around him a little bit, I loved him. I was like, this is a good kid, man. And God, he's big, guys. He is so big. This is the damnedest thing ever, man. Georgia gets an explosive play on a freaking early trick play, and you damn best wide receiver gets a probably season-ending injury just on a freak tackle. I mean, that is just – it's hard to swallow, man. Hard to swallow. What else we got here, guys? We'll see this Saturday. I'm telling you now, with Kobe out, who's getting the majority of share of his reps. Now, you can formation-wise, you can go more 12 personnel, which they might do with 2 tight ends. You can look at Noah Thomas. Does he slide out there? Don't count out Dylan Bell, guys. Dylan Bell's a guy that's played multiple positions at Georgia, and I like where he is right now. I heard a story about him. I heard he gave a pretty damn fiery pregame speech the night before Ole Miss in the offensive room, and I heard it was a good one, and shows where he is mentally, shows where he is mature-wise, and I be damned if you don't stand in front of that offensive room and give a speech like that, and then the next day you make that catch to put the game away, that says a lot. Don't count out 86, man, right now. I'm telling you, he might be ready to turn that switch on again. I don't know if they go 14, but they might go. Do you think we go 13 or 14 formation to get these tight ends going? They'll go 12. They might go 13, with Elias Williams. They use Jaden Riddell some to block. I wouldn't put 13 past Mike Bobo for sure if he thinks he can do it the best way, but to give them the best advantage. And certainly they can with those guys, but I think that 14 will be pushing it for me. I don't know how many take that many guys off the field, but they got some tight ends, man, for sure. Latest on injuries. Chauncey Bowens is a big one, and it sounds like he's back. I think, it's big to have one. Gadsden, I think you look at, Kyron Jones to be the one. It doesn't sound like he's back this week, and don't really know all the details there yet with him. We'll see, but it sounds like Chauncey Bowens is in a really good spot. Juan Gaston definitely needed an off week. Monroe Freeland needed an off week. Those offensive linemen definitely needed an off week. And just banged up, like I said earlier, I think they're in a really good spot injury-wise. Talon Taylor, a lot of you asking about Talon Taylor. You're still looking at best case scenario, maybe Georgia Tech would be really pushing it. But if you can get him back for December and help you the rest of the year, that would be good because, they've got some guys. It's not life or death, but you add him and get him back in the fold and, jumpstart him toward next season would be a big bonus. How about the recruiting trail 26, 27? Anything new? Listen, Jonathan, we did a DawgsHQ Plus earlier today and kind of talked about recruiting, and everybody's like, what's going on? Well, Georgia's sitting here, the second number 2 class in the country. They're just trying to hold on like everybody else in the country for 1 month to finish off this 2026 class. Blake Stewart is a kid that decommitted this week from Clemson, which is really rare. They don't get a lot of decommitments. This is a safety out of Woodward Academy, played safety, wide receiver. I really liked him. He took a under-the-radar visit to Miami, and then he comes back, and I think he went to Vanderbilt this weekend. I talked to somebody yesterday. They said, look, man, this might be down to Vanderbilt in Georgia. I really liked him now. Safety, great length. I was actually talking to Rodney Harrison. Rodney Harrison's kids go to Woodward Academy, who does NBC Sunday Night Football. And I asked him that night, I said, is this guy as good as I think he is? He goes, yes. I mean, Rodney Harrison loved this guy. So I think Blake Stewart's a guy to keep your eye on for 26 with Georgia. And we'll see what they can do with some guys in the next month or so. But, Georgia's not done. They're not done in 26. They're still trying to add there and then get that class finished off. And they don't have a month to do bowl practice, playoff practice, whatever they're doing, and get ready for portal season. Rusty, where could you see Glenn going if he left after the season? Obviously, Glenn Schumann. He was involved with that North Carolina job last year. What I know about Coach Schumann is he is very happy in Athens. He makes $2 million a year. His wife and family, they love Athens. He is being just like Kirby Smart, very picky on a role, on a movement. Now, don't let the stats this year fool you and think that he's not going to be a candidate somewhere. He will be a candidate, at some places. Now, he's been a candidate the last couple of years. North Carolina was a job that I think he really took a good long look at. I know Southern Miss and some of those places tried to see if he was interested, and he just wasn't. But we'll see. We'll see about the Georgia coaching staff. And I know Todd Hartley wants to be a head coach, man. And something pops up, that would be one to watch too. Don't really know how many assistants you lose. Sometimes you lose 2 or 3, and sometimes you don't lose any. It's just according. But I had a coach call me about 2 weeks ago for a support job role, and he said, anybody that you would recommend? And I said, well, and he said, let me rephrase that. Is there anybody at Georgia that you would recommend that's kind of off the field? A young guy? I was like, no, I can't. But that's how people look at Georgia's staff. Like, who can we go hire from Georgia? And really and truthfully, I had a coach say one time, we want Georgia players because we know they know how to practice. If I can get 3 Georgia players in this building, our kids they're going to talk to our kids in the locker room like, hey, y'all not doing what it takes, So with players and staffs and everybody kind of wants to tap that Georgia coaching tree and player portal for sure. Talon's doing well. He's not going to rush anything. Had a really good conversation about him with some people this week, and the kid's eager to get back. But everybody around him, including the University of Georgia, medical staff, and everybody understands the long game with him, and they're not going to rush anything at all. But if he can get back and they're comfortable where he is, he will definitely be back at some point. But he's doing well. I think it took a couple of weeks of, that kind of sucked to get hurt like that after what happened to him, and you get hurt late in a practice like that. Just a rough week for him, but in a lot better spirits, a lot better shape, and he's working hard to get back. How's the future look for Mason Short? Is he a guard or tackle? I think Mason's probably going to wind up being a guard. Could he play right tackle? Yeah, but I think he's going to wind up being a guard. He's got the height. He doesn't have the arm length that Tate Ratledge had, but he's kind of similar in that build. So I do think that Mason, down the line, I think guard would be the best place for him. Yep. Young kid out of Augusta. Great kid, great family. Russ, you have an insight on Bowden Sohn's senior year? Any numbers he may be putting up? I think he may have missed time. I think he got a little banged up. He is a can't miss, guys. Like, got to have it. Cannot, absolutely. And Georgia treated it that way. This young man is playing up in Virginia, and he can't get here quick enough. Georgia has to be excited to look at that young man and say, hey, we're going to have him and Elijah Griffin to kind of build around interior-wise over the next 2 or 3 years in Athens. But so that one can't get here quick enough. I can promise you that. Any update on Seven Cloud? You think he ends up a Dawg with the situation? Well, number one, he's hurt. I don't know if he's. I don't think he's playing at all. Dealing with a pretty rough injury, I think. Obviously, he's got some legal issues to fix, and it's hard to say, man. But I don't want to answer either way. I don't know, but he's got quite a bit of obstacles, I would say, to get squared away, but in the next month or so. So we will see in a month if he ends up in this class or not. But he's got some stuff he's got to deal with, and I'm rooting for the kid. Everybody that knows me knows covering him, and he's been through it, man. But at some point, you gotta take care of things yourself, and I hope he ends up where he needs to end up. Russ, you think Georgia will have all of our O-line starters this week for the game? It should, unless somebody gets hurt this week. You never know, and they should. And even that with the backup guys, you look at Donnie Glover, Juan, Ernest Green, Bobo, Michael Morris, Monroe Freeland. Yeah, should have that core 7 or 8 guys that have been playing, and God, they've been playing good, man. I mean, they've had some spurts, but my God, on film, these two freshman guys, these two freshmen have changed some things for Georgia, which is crazy. But these two freshmen, Dontrell Glover's boys, I mean, he's going to be a freshman All-American. I mean, that dude will break you off, and he won't. I was told he had a stinger in the Ole Miss game in the fourth quarter, and they basically grabbed his helmet, and he about lost his you-know-what. He was like, I'm going back in the effing game. Give me my helmet. And when you're wired like that, and then what he was doing, the big 51 in the fourth quarter, I mean, 51 was 6'8", grown-ass man. And I'm telling you, in the fourth quarter, he was looking at the sky because Donnie Glover was wearing him out those last 3 drives. I mean, he was in him. Let's get a couple more, guys. Rusty, how do you feel about the job Dante and T-Rob have done? I remember USC fans were happy when Dante left there. Listen, you got to get more out of the secondary. I think you look at safety-wise, and they don't have a guy to go with KJ. You know what I mean? So whose fault is that? I mean, these guys get paid a lot of money. But you look at Dante with these young corners, how much decision did he have to say, let's go with Ellis Robinson and DeMello Jones with Dalen Everett? Because even giving us some yards, the DB play has still been better. So, to me, you will get a full cycle in, see what these guys can do DB wise and stuff like that. But they're going with some young kids, and I don't know if how much pull Dante had there, but his name's on that group. And when you insert 2 freshmen or 2 young kids like this, 2 young players, you better be on board because, you're taking a risk. And so far, I like where they're going with that. In the locker room, who are the leaders of this team? I would say for sure C.J. Allen. I think C.J. Allen is the clear. I think C.J. Allen is the alpha of the team. And Christian Miller is another guy that carries a lot of voice. Drew Bobo is a guy that you hear a lot about. Kobe Young was a guy. So, you really look at Kobe Young, Drew Bobo. Gunners probably carries a little more, but he's more of a lead by example guy. So they got some young guys in there. Dalen Everett's a guy too. Some of those upperclassmen, as you can imagine, those are the guys. Yeah. KJ Bolden probably will be the guy moving forward. He's got a lot of character to him, plays hard, very, very tight with Kirby. I think he'll be one of those guys. Let's get two more guys. Another running back, 26 class. Yes, question they're going to be is what they're going to do there. Are they going to take a portal guy with Jay Lamar? I know they've looked at some guys. They've looked at some high school guys. I think they've got some guys on visits. To me, at this point, if I'm comfortable in Jay Lamar coming, I'd get a portal back. I really would. I mean, I don't – the portal backs are producing nationwide, and I think I'd get a portal back to go in this class for sure. And I don't know if he is, but if Jaden Ball were to go in there, that'd be the one for me. And I don't know if he is, and I'm not trying to start any rumors, but if that joker goes in the portal and I'm Kirby Smart, that's the first damn call I made, especially being from the state of Georgia. So we'll see. Let's get one more. Well, maybe we're not. A couple of things here. Mike Bobo calling some good ball right now. Expecting him to kick some tires on some P4 jobs. I don't know what Mike Bobo. I'm going to leave that question up too. You'll leave that question up to finish with, and I know who that is, so I'm going to answer that question. Mike Bobo calling some good ball games right now. Expect him to kick the tires on some P4 jobs. I don't know that Mike Bobo would do it again, but I know he's had some people reach out to him over the last 2 years to say, hey, would you be interested again to give it one more shot? And, I just, now that he's got kids in college, Drew's here. I don't think he would, but, we'll see. But he's had a great year. And, he had a great 23 season. They've had a great year so far with a new quarterback, the Roland McGunner. I've said it a million times. You can't have a 24 season. Things just didn't work right. Things weren't going. You couldn't run the ball all last year. But the 23 season under Mike Bobo was just as good as any offensive season you could think of. I mean, they were freaking rolling. And, just one of those deals. And if Brock Bowers and Lamb McConkey don't get hurt, they're playing for it all. Might not have won it all, but they're playing for it all, in my opinion. So we'll see there. Are y'all doing anything for the Texas game? Yes, we are. And we're going to be at Hotel Indigo on Friday night. And I've had so many people ask me about that. And we will be back at Hotel Indigo on Friday night at the Texas game. Jake and I are there early. We love to meet people, mingle, hang out. And I was there a little bit too long last time. Y'all boys kept handing me a beverage. So probably tell one too many stories I shouldn't have. But we will be at Hotel Indigo, and we'd love to see you there and anybody that wants to come. Guys, listen, thank you all again, man. I know we just started this on a chance to see what happens. It's taking off. I appreciate y'all every Tuesday night. Next week, we'll get right back into this. We're going to review the Florida game. We're going to talk about Mississippi State. We're going to talk about some recruiting stuff. We'll get right back into it, probably go about 45 minutes to an hour again next week. It's Georgia-Florida week. Dawg Talk Live presented by Hotel Indigo. Guys, go by there anytime you're in Athens, not just a game weekend. Go by there. Appreciate y'all checking in over there. Can't wait to read the comments again and go back and see everybody. But that's going to do it tonight. Tuesday night, Dawg Talk Live presented by Hotel Indigo in Athens. See y'all next week. Go Dogs.